This is just AMZN for Monday, June 3rd, 2019. It's a new month, and we have a new gap down, which we'll see what ends up happening this month. But gapping down below, I think below May's low. I think this was the low for May on a monthly. Definitely on a weekly. I'd have to double check for the monthly. But anyway, gapping down. And we actually come back up and do kind of a retest pre-market, and then we're starting to roll back down. And as the market opens, we have a nice high wave candle. It looks very similar to yesterday's opening candle. Slightly bearish. This one a little more buying, longer lower wick. This one's pretty even, a little bit higher upper wick. Doesn't get back up to the pre-market high. Yesterday or Friday, the pre-market, we went above the pre-market high and then did it again with the second candle, second 5-minute candle. But today we actually held the pre-market high. Very next candle is small inside candle on the lower end, so very different from the second candle here. And we've been in a downtrend, so this is looking like it's going to start to continue. It's a little stronger bearish than it was Friday, but we should be able to get to the 1747 price I was talking about on the last video. And the very next candle gets there. It wasn't even 1-to-1 to this level. If you took the breakdown below the low, you got all bearish candles so far, and we were just plummeting. And I totally missed this. It was amazing to see. I glanced at it, I think at this point, and saw, wow, that is just really running. Wonder, how quickly it's going to go down. And then it continued to just plummet in the next candle and came all the way down to 1714.15, just about. The low here is 1715.56. There is another line here. It's kind of hard for me to highlight, but it looks like there's two lines. This one is actually an uptrend line. I don't know why it's red, but it's not picking up the color from the daily, and we'll go look at the daily soon just to see where that's coming from. Another inside candle and continuing to break down lower. Here's our first bullish candle of the day. That's how strongly bearish it was. It moved massively down here, and now we're retesting this price from below. And it would make sense that we have a little bit of buying down here. It's pretty low. I would have been waiting till we're into the 1600s personally, because that was a great place to be buying last time, was in the 1600s, and probably not getting in there right now because somebody will, but there's so much bearish pressure. Everybody's missing the bearish move. Wait for the S curve and get in bearish. And so that's what we're going to look for. We're going to look for that S curve. Inside candle, sideways. We're just staying right below. So here we go. For 30 minutes, we dropped for 30 minutes. We stayed under 1450 for half an hour. And then we're starting to go back up. Again, this is just the S curve. We're just looking for this to come back up. Maybe it'll come up to 1727.80. Maybe not. Moves up a little bit. There we go. Nice evening star reversal. We're staying below the exponential, staying below this price. This is just looking like a retest into the high here. Could bounce. There's some people buying it off of that level, waiting for the pullback because they missed it after, or they missed buying bullish with the bullish candles here. So they get in on the low, and let's see, the low here is 1715.75. So we're a little bit closer than we're here, right? 1715, no, further, sorry, 75. This candle puts in a low 1715, 50 cents above the line, small candle. Okay, looks like it's going to go the other way. This becomes a smaller S curve. Well, no, it's a double top right here. It's starting to look like a double top. You can get in bearish below the low there, but it doesn't go. Okay, now it's triple top. We're just going really sideways through here. Got the squeeze forming. Momentum is just about to turn positive, or has, but we're so strongly down. We just came into the 21 exponential. When we did that, we were chopping around it on Friday. When we actually came back and retested up into it, following the 5, it's kind of what happened here. We're following the 5. We're just pivoting on the 5. we're straddling this line. Now we've come back into the 21. This looks like it should continue to roll over, which it did into the late afternoon, mid-afternoon on Friday. Starting to move. There we go. That candle is the one to get in on. It closes below these lows. You can have your stop up here at 1727.80, somewhere around there. Being conservative, if you want to be more aggressive, we can look at what the options we're setting up to do in this range here. But it's starting to break down, and it's got the squeeze, and it just goes, continues lower. Two candle little stair step here that continues lower. Again, that's not the right line. I don't have a horizontal line here. The next one I've got is 1665.27, and we'll see how close we get to that. But here, so the squeeze had fired, and we were already well into the move. So watching the candles, getting in, where the 5 starts to turn negative again. I'm sorry, starts to turn down again, not negative. It's just aiming lower. The slope is negative, but anyway, rejecting the 21, continuing lower with the 5, crosses some lows, comes down here, and now here's a new level. I don't know why it lines up so well with that, but it does look like we're straddling this one just like we straddled this one. So it's just interesting seeing that happen, and there's not really any good rhyme or reason for it to do so. But we just chopped around in here, try to push a little bit lower, and there we go, 1672, and then we ended up coming right back up to that level. So maybe that's more important. I guess we'll take a look and see. It's around 1693 right here. But just interesting to see. We had a horizontal line here that we pivoted on. That we straddled, and then we have an uptrend line that we're straddling here, and then we close like right on it. Almost came down to 1665.27. Would have been a great target. Even getting into an option around here, when you're way up here, because it has the potential to move there, and just taking some gains from that. So we can look at the 1665 put. We can look at the 1650 put. We can do some of that and see what's going on, or you can, So let's see here. We're just going to go with this next. Oh, back to the daily. Okay, so here's the daily. This is that line. It was right in this range. I don't know why it shows up here at like 1725, which is just about where we came up to. Here's the high, 1725.60. So, I mean, that was a retest of that line. I don't know why it's showing up down here, and I don't know why it's red. So, but that's supposed to be that uptrend line. See, it's if I hover on it, so start at 1632.74 and at 1639.60. So that is that. I thought it was that. I'm not sure now. But anyway, it's going right through today's candle. But anyway, ignore it on the 5 minute. Pay attention to this and what's going on with these lines, because it looks like we're making a beeline right to this yellow line. And that's in the no man's zone, so maybe it doesn't have to hold it. We held it pretty respectably here. Retested, short-term retest. What if this is a longer-term retest too? We went past this value, but we closed near its open. I'm picturing a little bit more bearishness. We have a lot of bears hopping on. We're taking out some lows. Like in here, we've got, if you look at the volume here, we're below this candle, which is the last time we had kind of a higher bullish volume, other than this one from, I think that was from earnings. But that, more below this bullish candle, we are, let's see, that one. We're not quite below that. We're below this one, but all we're doing really is just pulling back and starting to retest, and we'll see really what levels we're going to hold. That'll be the big question here: is where is this actually going to stop? Where could it bounce? Could it gap down to 1665.27 tomorrow and trade up from there? Sure. Could it gap down there and then pause like it did today with some indecision candles and then break lower? Sure, could do that. Just set your stop appropriately, and you're in and out when you want to be. All right, so if we just zoom in on the day, and that's still just massive. That's crazy. A sec. I wanted to change. Is it this one? I think it was. No. I'm trying to remember where the option was that I found. I don't know where it is. Volume. I thought I had it over here. That's colors. Sorry. This. I forgot what I was for the weekend. I want to turn off the volume down here and turn it back on behind here like I do on the daily, and I forgot to do it on the 5. Anyway, we'll move on. Let's look at the puts you could have gotten into. So this is the 1650 put, and you could have been buying like 3 by 2, $3 by $2. Really nice risk reward. Ran up into 13, so 3 by 2 had the potential to go 10 to get a 10R, and then it pulled back and retested into like the $7 range. So you could have been doing 7 by 6 down in here, could have been getting in over here, 8 by 7, something like that. And then that continued even higher up to 16. So that, you know, had you gotten in even at 8, up to 16 would have been a double. A lot of really good opportunities to go bearish, and even some that pause like this. So if you want to go a little further out of the money for a smaller risk, I mean, this is your best place to get in probably with really small risk, and then a really small option, and you know your risk, you know. Similar here, and then this one, this kind of double bottom here, a little bit wider, probably go a little further out with the options. This is right after 1 o'clock, and so that was right in here where it looks like it's breaking out, and then very quickly it does this double top and then just continues back down. So again, this is looking at the 1665. We're at 1691, I guess, for the close, but yeah, we just continue to try and bearish. Here's the calls, not really amounting to much. A little bit here, got into like 9 by 8, then ended up going up a little bit into the close. If you have the nerve to hold that for the last 5-minute candle, that's something you really got to practice and know what you're doing, because it doesn't have to go that way. Oops, not to go here. It doesn't really have to rally like this, but in this case it did. So yeah, there was, oh, what was the other one? This one, oh, here, this candle at 1050, breaking down. So it's the puts, 1050, there you go, 1050 candle, doing 8 by 7. At that point, it would have worked, you know, 8 by 7, like I said, doubled up to 16. I didn't do that one either, but really good to recognize the opportunity where you have the signal. And then even this one, so this one triggered you in, but this candle is a retest. So this is right at 11. So right at 11 was this candle. Priced right at 845. I don't know what the price would have been if the fill wasn't there. Maybe 825, maybe 850, I don't know. But another opportunity to go in, you know, around $8, even doing 9 by 8 right here. It worked, it continued. And so, you know, looking for the continuation, looking for this S curve to continue would have really helped to get into this appropriately. So here we are with the initial breakdown, S curve here, breakdown, S curve here, breakdown. We're just going bearish. That's all it is. So we'll see if we continue to come down here into this level. See if we can get any sort of retest back up into the low 1700s. Maybe, I don't think we'll get back up to 1747, but maybe back up to, I think it's 1728 this line. we'll see if we can retest up to that. Not necessarily tomorrow, but unless we get a nice little gap that wants to run higher, or if it turns into some sort of Morris reversal down here. This level, not as clean, but has a lot of interactions. Some wicks up in here. This Morning Star reversal was off of that as a clean support resistance. So there's opportunities for this to go a little bit lower, bounce, and I guess we'll just have to wait and see if that's how it plays out or not. So back tomorrow with another review. I hope you enjoyed this one. This is just AMZN. Thanks.